Hi, this is Nancy Buswell, and you are listening to the Listen and Repeat podcast, episode 77, The Gift of the Magi 1. So instead of doing a different novel or short story or speech or poem every week for the next, probably 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I'm going to be doing one short story, The Gift of the Magi. And I'll be doing, 5 or 6 paragraphs today, and we'll continue to do that for the next, for how long it takes. So this is a famous short story. Many of you have already heard of it, written by O. Henry. That's his pen name, meaning he had another name, but he used the name O. Henry when he was writing. Born in 1862, died in 1910. This is perhaps the most famous short story in English. So I will read, and I want you to repeat. This helps you improve your intonation. Follow how my voice goes up and down. Copy how my voice goes up and down. That's improving the intonation. Also copy my pronunciation. Keep in mind that I'm American, so of course I speak American English. So this is The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. Listen and repeat. $1.87. Anne. Don't need to say the D. $1.87. That was all. And 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies saved 1 and 2 at a time. By bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher, until one's cheeks burned with the silent imputation of parsimony. By the way, there's some old words here and some difficult words that are just not commonly used. Imputation is not common. Parsimony is not common. If you don't know them, don't worry about it. You're not likely to need them, though you might read them, especially if you read older things like this. That such close dealing implied. 3 times Della counted it. $1.87. And the next day would be Christmas. There was clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and howl. Here, howl means cry loudly. Flop means to fall down. So Della did it, which instigates the moral reflection that life is made up of sobs, sniffles, and smiles, with sniffles predominating. Sniffle is what you do with your nose when you're crying, kind of sniffing in. While the mistress of the home is gradually subsiding, from the first stage to the second. Yeah, I was too careful in saying that. I said first stage. I shouldn't have done that. The T on first should just merge with stage. Actually, the ST and ST should be first stage. So, the first stage. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was being careful, but actually in speaking, we're not that careful. From the first stage to the second, take a look at the home. A furnished flat at $8 per week. It did not exactly beggar description, but it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squad. Mendicancy is very uncommon, and that sentence is a little strange. But what it means is it was poor. It was a poor place. In the vestibule below was a letter box. Into which no letter would go. And an electric button from which no mortal finger could coax a ring. Also appertaining thereunto, that's really fancy language. We would never say that. We wouldn't write it very often either. Was a card bearing the name Mr. James Dillingham Young. It looks like Dillingham, but I believe they would use the British pronunciation of Dillingham. The Dillingham had been flung to the breeze during a former period of prosperity, when its possessor was being paid $30 per week. Now, when the income was shrunk to $20, though they were thinking seriously of contracting to a modest and unassuming D. So change it to James D. Young. But whenever Mr. James Dillingham Young came home, and reached his flat above, he was called Jim. And greatly hugged by Mrs. James Dillingham Young. Already introduced to you as Della. Which is all very good. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you have a good day.